Hello, welcome to Wolfway TV. Thank you for stopping by my channel to watch my video. Guys, I will jump right into it. Today, there's an important topic, and it is an interesting topic that I wanted to talk to you guys about. And this is something that goes, but it never goes away completely. It's kind of like a vampire. It keeps going and coming back again. And that is the age issue. All right. There are several of you guys who have asked the question about what if you have age differences or age discrepancies on your in your passport and compared to your birth certificate and even your school certificates, and you wanted to know how do I address that. And there are some people who are also like, they have no idea how these things happen, and they think that it's always your fault that this happened, and they think that, oh, if your age on your certificate or your age in your passport does not match your birth certificate, then you did something wrong. So today I'm just going to talk about the different scenarios and reasons why this can happen that may put the applicant or the person in jeopardy, even though it wasn't their intention. They had no control over that, right? And then I'll talk about, the obvious one where the applicant is complicit in that happening. They actually made this happen. And so that hopefully at the end of this video, it'll help you, guide you, and know how to handle such a situation, all right? So I'm going straight to the scenarios where you, the applicant, the person who has this issue, you are a victim. You had no role in this, and this just happened, all right? So the first one is when it's a clerical error that was done by a government body, all right? When I say a clerical error that was done by a government body, I'm talking about, is it a passport issuing authority? Is it the examination council that prints out certificates for you? Is it from there, or is it from where you got your birth certificate? Where you got your birth certificate? So your birth certificate, school certificate, and then passport. These are the points where it is handled by the government, all right? And it is possible that human errors can cause you to, have this problem on your government document. I've seen instances where somebody applied for a passport, they put their correct date of birth there, and then when they got the passport back, somehow there's a different year or there's a different month on there. I've seen even these mistakes being repeated in names. You have your name, the spelling of your name, and somebody switches the whole thing around, and then now you have this big mistake that you did not make yourself, but then it was done somewhere else. All right. The other mistake is where it was made by your parent. Okay. Oftentimes, unlike developed countries where when you're born, your birth certificate is done right there, and your parent can get a copy of your birth certificate through the mail or even before you are discharged from the hospital. But in the rest of the world, that's not how things work. All right. There are a lot of people who may have never seen their birth certificate, or the only time they had to get their birth certificate was when they were applying for a visa, or they were applying to join the police force, they were applying to join the military, or they were applying to join something that required them to show their age, or require them to bring, show proof of their age. That was the only time. So if you're somebody who is born in, these parts of the world where you are not traveling, you've never tried to travel, and this is the golden opportunity. This is the first or one time that you're close to getting a visa to leave your country, and now you need to get your birth certificate, and this is where you're seeing the problem. The other one too is that, I know there are some people, like elderly people, who during their time, nobody was giving birth certificates. I mean, if you were born in the house, I know grandmothers, mothers who were born at home, and nobody went to the hospital to report anything. So birth certificate was never done for this person. And now, because they want to travel, they need to go get birth certificate. And so at this point, somebody, may not get the correct information, and then they might end up having, the wrong date of birth, right? The other thing too is that sometimes, like in some of African countries especially, your name might be associated with the day that you were born. Like I'm a Kriya. I was born on a Wednesday, right? If somebody is born on Thursday, they are Ya. If they're born on Fridays, if Ya, right? Or Kofi, Yao, Kweku, Kwejo, Kwabena, Abena, Ajwa, Kusia, Kwisi. So, but what happens is that if you're in a hospital, your mom is in labor and, like all that excruciating pain that she's been through, and she delivers you at midnight, maybe 12:01. So your mom was in labor all through Friday night, right? So you were supposed to be born on Friday to be Kofi. But then your mom gave birth at 12:01, right? 12:01. So let's say even the modernized hospitals might, say, hey, it's 12:01 or maybe 12:05 or 12:15. For some people, the concept of time is, like it depends on how they feel, right? Or what they see outside. If somebody wakes up in the middle of the night and sees that it's dark outside, they assume that it is not morning, it is still night, not morning. So if let's say you're in a modern hospital and they see that, oh, okay, so this baby is born on Saturday, right? So your date of birth on your birth certificate, it matches a Saturday, right? But your mom perceives that you were born on Friday. So she's like, oh, this is my baby Kofi, right? Or my baby Ifia. And you have been called Ifia. But then later along the line in life, you check your birth certificate or you paid attention to your date of birth and you're like, wait, my date of birth does not even match Ifia or Kofi. The day that is on my birth certificate matches Saturday, but I've been called Ifia all my life or Kofi all my life, right? And so this will be another example of where what you have believed to be your birth certificate. So now when you feel like, oh, so that means that if my birth certificate says that I was born on, Saturday, then, but you know that you've been called Ifia all your life. So guess what? Some people will try to change the date backwards so that it matches up to what they've been known by. I've seen that before. So this is where this could be a problem because of, disagreement in when you were born and what it says on the document, right? And of course, there is, the obvious one, the big elephant in the room, where people intentionally change their date because of whatever reasons, all right? The first reason why people change their name, they did it intentionally. One of the reasons is, of course, to, try to benefit from something that they are excluded from because of their age. So because you're 20 years old, you cannot play for the under 17 football team. So you change your date or your date of birth so that you bring it some years down so that you can play that game. Because obviously, you look like that age, right? Like you see people playing for under 17, but physically, because they look, petite, so they fit the age and nobody ever questions them, all right? So that is there, all right? But that is fraudulent part, right? Because you intentionally did that. You intentionally changed your age so that you can benefit from something that you would have been excluded from. All right, so that you did it. The other one is where you did it intentionally, but there was, a cause, like you were compelled by something, all right? And so one example is that I remember when I was in high school, we have one of the school authorities who will come into the classroom and then ask, they were trying to check our age. I don't know what they were collecting that data for, but when they come around, they will tell people, if you were born in 1985, get up. If you were born in 1986, get up. If you were born in 1970, so they were counting us, right? Well, If you were in school around that time, or if this thing is done in your school, oftentimes students are shy about their age, especially the women. All right, you don't want to be the one, as they're calling 1985 group, or as they're calling 1991 group. Imagine your classmates are all in the 1990s, 1990, 1991, 1992, and the youngest maybe like 1994 or 1993. But then you happen to be 1989. You don't want to be the one, because people will call you grandma. I saw that growing up. There were people, they will call them P1 Papa, P1 Mommy, JHS from 2 Mommy, like all because you are a little older than your classmates, right? So for some people, in order for them not to feel that, they are being targeted because of their age, people are making fun of them, they just reduce their age in order to fit in. All right, so they were not reducing their age in order to benefit from anything, but they're reducing their age in order to fit in order not to become the laughing stock of the entire class. Because some people thought that was a joke to call some people, like senior high school, like from 2 mommy, from 2 papa, from 1 mommy, from 1 papa, this class mommy, and that. But the people who are the victims of these mockery, they didn't find that as a joke. So this compelled some people to change their year. Like if you are 91 and your classmates are all 92, 93, then next time when they come and ask for the 91, you don't get up, and then that data gets updated in the system, and then you finish school, and then you get your school certificate, and then guess what? Your year of birth has changed, all because of this. Okay. The other thing, there have been times that we've seen like some celebrities change their age because it seems like being young and dumb, or being young is like fashionable. I don't know why people feel the need to change their age, but it looks like this is a common thing for people who have celebrity status. People who are young and want to feel like, hey, I'm young and you are old, because they insult other people with their age. Classic example was when Nicki Minaj insulted Lil Kim for her age. I've seen some Ghanaian celebrities, especially the female, change their age, call themselves that they are younger than they are, and guys, y'all know them. I'm sure the same thing will happen in Kenya, same thing will happen in Nigeria, will happen in, it seems like the age thing is kind of universal for people not to feel like they're old, all right? But that doesn't excuse you from, like making this big mistake and bringing it along. So you'll be wondering, so then if you are somebody who hasn't suffered any of this, you wonder like, then why don't you fix it? So sometimes because of how long it takes for you to get your passport, if somebody applies for passport and it takes like a long time for them to get it, it is unlikely for the person to return that passport to point out like clerical errors for them to fix it, right? Like let's say you apply for your passport, you were on waiting list, or it took you maybe 3 months or 4 months or even longer in some countries for you to get your passport, and all of a sudden you get your passport and your year of birth, 1994, has been changed to 1995. It is unlikely for you to take it back and tell them like, please fix it. That should be what you should be doing when you get your, any official document that has your age, your name on there. Make sure that it is correct and it is accurate, so that you don't have to, find reasons to explain it later along in life. But sometimes those are some of the reasons that people feel that, hey, it took me a long time to get this thing. Why should I take it back? All right. So guys, those are reasons. So now you're wondering like, so when I go to the interview and I have such a problem, how do I address that? So my answer is that you explain it based on the scenario, the situation that caused this error to happen. All right. Was it that your mom made the mistake and later it was corrected later along in life? If that was the problem, then that should be your explanation. All right. If that mistake was because in school you were being teased and then you change your year of birth, and yeah, then that should be your reason. But oftentimes people want me to tell them what to tell. No, I don't know that. I wasn't there. I'm not the one who changed your date of birth. So I cannot give you a reason. But I hope that these example and scenarios that I've talked about will help you know that, hey, I may not be the only person in this situation, and for you to come up with a solution to that. So guys, I hope that these things that I've talked about will help you address the issue. If you can address it, make the attempt to address it, and keep documentation of that attempt. All right, like as you guys may already know, in this immigration process, everything documentation is paramount. Documentation is very important to this journey, because if it's not there, then it did not happen. All right, so you want to make sure that there is evidence to show that you made the effort to change it. All right, but the rest of you, I hope this helps you out. And those of you who have never been in this situation and you wondered why that happened, I hope that this explains things for you. All right. But guys, thank you so much for sticking around and watching my videos. I'll be making more videos pretty soon. I have one coming up tomorrow about interviews. So I hope that you guys can watch that video. All right. Thank you so much. I love you, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye-bye.